Hi, my name is Burby. I am a graduate student studying special education with a focus on early intervention in the Early Childhood Opportunities Scholarship Program, or ECHO Scholars Program. My undergraduate degree is in speech therapy and audiology. I live in Bangor and am currently employed with CDS as an educational technician with the aspiration of becoming a special education teacher or program director. So far, I have found the information in this course to be not only very fascinating, but also very important to my work. And I will elaborate on why this is so as I go along with the following questions. The first being, what is evaluation, and how is it important for determining what is needed, what was done, and what the outcome was of disability-specific interventions? For what I can see, evaluation research is the process of studying how companies, policymakers, and individuals examine their actions and consequences of said actions. It is important for determining what is needed because it shows how other individuals and companies in the past have defined problems, defined what actions or resources are needed to solve a problem, and how they define success and, most importantly, if there was success. Individuals like myself can read studies and evaluation and learn from their successes and failures of others as to how to approach a problem. For children and adults with disabilities, evaluation research helps us to learn how to use thinking processes spoken of in evaluation research to find out not only if a program for people with disabilities has a sound assumption to begin with, but if the thought and action processes lead to the best conclusions and why. 1. What is evaluation research, and how is it important for determining what is needed, what was done, and what the outcome was of disability-specific interventions? From what I can see, evaluation research is the process of studying how companies, policymakers, and individuals examine their actions and consequences of said actions. It is important for determining what is needed because it shows how other individuals and companies in the past have defined problems, defined what actions or resources are needed to solve a problem, and how they defined success and, most importantly, if there was success. Individuals like myself can read studies on evaluation and learn from the successes and failures of others as to how to approach a problem. For children and adults with disabilities, evaluation research helps to learn how to use thinking processes to find out not only if a program for people with disabilities has a sound assumption to begin with, but if the thought and action processes lead to the best conclusions and why. Number 2. What sources of knowledge are legitimate to define and evaluate disability issues and responses? Disability issues and responses can be based on many differing definitions based on who is the person defining the disability. For the sake of this course, I will just define disability as any degree of inability to access an opportunity or experience that is taken for granted by the majority. Here, we have a vague statement from which more specific need-based statements can arise. As for disability issues and responses, to me, legitimate sources of knowledge are always people who must deal with the defined disability we work with, as well as those who provide services and opportunities to help with defined disability. Both parties are of equal importance and must be studied in any sound evaluation process concerning disabilities. Number 3. Do you have any examples of evaluation informing your daily life? Evaluation is essential to early intervention in testing children's current cognitive, linguistic, emotional, or academic development to see if they are eligible for special education services. Evaluation is also used to test them out as they perform in the classroom to see what their current and ongoing education looks like. Finally, for the ever-essential parent-teacher conferences, we have scores and reports that define if the initial evaluation and or the ongoing evaluation worked and why it didn't work. If parents, therapists, and ed techs like myself are consistently consulted as this process goes, an evaluation is always going on, and any flaw in the system or problem statement that was missed can be identified and cared for as soon as possible. Number 4, what are ethics? And what do ethics have to do with evaluation? Ethics are the morals and virtues by which all people work in order to make any just and good decision. Whether a person decides on a utilitarian or rights-based system of ethics, the 4 principles of respect for autonomy, beneficence or benefit, non-malfeasance or wish to do no harm, and justice or fairness for all are always in play in some shape or form. Everyone in every group of people or professionals has a different way of defining ethics, but those 4 principles are at the core. And now for the PowerPoint question. Find the problem statement, the need, the reflective intervention, and the desired outcome in the following. Some may be implied. Here, Stephen conducted an inquiry to inform the redesign of campus architecture to improve access for all people. His literature review suggested that architecture is one of the major factors in creating segregation on college campuses. Based on this findings, the images, photos and virtual images, were all revised and gender-neutral bathrooms were assigned. The problem statement is that the buildings on campus provided restricted access or blocked people with mobility challenges or any other differences from integrating with everyone else. And the reflective intervention is based off of the research and on the layout of the campus and the website. Stephen decided that the lack of accessible bathrooms and adequate presentation of the college campuses cause students with mobility issues or other differences to feel alienated, not to mention the obvious problem of holding it in during lectures. The desired outcome, based off of what Stephen did with presenting different images as well as gender-neutral bathrooms, students with mobility issues or any other difference felt more accepted and equal because they have a bathroom that they can use just like every other classmate they know, and they no longer feel like they are helpless because they cannot use the same bathrooms that everyone else uses. Also, no one has to hold it in anymore. So this is just my first video and first response. You can ask me questions in the comments section or drop me an email, which is megan.burby@mail.maine.edu. Thank you for listening.